the more understanding I received, and I did not receive understanding from everybody, but
or the people you would have hoped to
yeah,
get from.
Yeah, and I understand how too, you know, because other people need support in, you know, in other ways and stuff like that, and you know, I get it, you know, I get it. So, but for the most part, almost everybody was understanding, and that softened my heart in a way that made it easier to then communicate. Because I mean, times still come when I need to isolate, you know. That didn't stop, but like my level of communication, like, look, I was just, whew, you know, or I might not even be going through something. Honestly, like personal training, it is a constant exchange of energy, you know.
Like a massage therapist.
Yeah, you know, so sometimes I just need a dang on minute, you know. I might not be going through nothing too bad, but I just need some me time, you know, and just being able to communicate that, like, I've learned to do that, and I can't say I won't in the future, but at least up until now, I don't really get a lot of pushback, you know. And I think a lot of that is because, I mean, we all in this together, and a lot of people need their time too, you know. I mean, it just seems to be really relatable, you know, to most people. So I haven't necessarily found anybody that just kind of like pushes me away, as long as I communicate effectively. And then even at times when I don't, and I come back and it's like, you know, my bad, I just needed a minute, instead of trying to cover it up with fluff.
Unless they playing your lines, then it's like, I don't know what to tell you. You should have just known what it was. No, that's hilarious. But welcome back to another episode of Mental Health Monday here with my friend Britney. Tell the folks who you are and what it is that you do.
So my name is Britney, and I am a personal trainer.
Okay, you also have a platform.
And yes, I do. So you can find me on Instagram at Flex with Brit, 2 T's at the end of Brit, or on TikTok at Fit and Depressed.
Okay, so Fit and Depressed.
Yeah.
Fit and Depressed. Can you be fit and depressed, or is it one or the other? Do they come together on certain points?
You can be.
Just,
you can very much
is it
be
like
both.
A whole mix?
You can very
a collaborative effort.
And it is. Mm-hmm. You can very much be both. Yeah. I mean, fitness is the modality of choice that I've chose to like get through depression and just kind of like get over the hump. Yeah. Or one of them anyway. One of the primary modalities I've used. Okay. But yeah, it just gives me something to work towards, and you know, something to just better myself. It's really about doing the same things every day, not seeing, you know, the results you want to see on a day-to-day basis, but over an extended period of time, which also holds true in kind of like my depression journey. You might not see the results right away, but over an extended period of time, then you'll be able to see some of the strides that you've made, and it just kind of like helps to just kind of like visualize my journey in another way, you know. So if I can do hard things in the gym, I can do hard things outside the gym, you know. So yeah.
All right, let's talk about your content.
Okay.
Name of the platform.
TikTok, we are Fit and Depressed.
Okay. You gotta tell me why. Why the name?
I mean, honestly, it was straight to the point. Yeah. Honestly, you know, fitness has been the vehicle I have chosen to kind of get me through my depression.
Okay.
You know, one day at a time. So, yeah.
What is depression like?
It's dark. It's dark. I mean, the opposite of everything good. It's dark, it's gloomy, it's hard. It is self-sabotaging, it is limiting beliefs. It's just really dark, it's really dark.
I think the limiting beliefs one is the one that struck me the most in your description.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you need a lot of belief in life in general. Like, I believe you a lie. You have me messed up.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? I believe you have me mistaken.
Yeah.
I believe you didn't mean that. So for it to limit beliefs kind of means a lot of people can get away with a lot of things when it came to you being in that dark space, including yourself, like doubting yourself.
Absolutely.
Would you say there's a battle with depression, or is there a struggle to find balance with depression?
There's a struggle to find balance with depression.
Okay, tell me more.
Because it always looms to certain capacities, but I feel like the key word to my life right now is just being intentional, like really, really intentional, really, really intentional with identifying what I'm feeling when I'm feeling it and what I need to do to get out of that space, taking a shower, even though I might not feel like it and I just want to be in bed and lay in fetal position, do it anyway, go outside, open the blinds, talk to a friend, or sometimes don't talk to a friend, maybe just talk to my mom, you know what I'm saying, like, who is one of my safest spaces, water my plants, be proactive about buying plants because I know that they make me feel needed, wanted, and it's something to do, to invest in, to focus on. It's just being proactive and intentional in doing things, whether big or small, to just combat those symptoms.
When you're a person that has such a strong inclination to be wanted, do you have to be careful where your sources of want come from?
Absolutely.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure. And I think a big part of healing came from learning to love myself, you know what I'm saying, flaws and all.
Yeah.
Because, it sounds cliche, but it's so true. Like, how can you ever love or be of service to anybody else if you're not that for yourself, And I had to definitely learn that the hard way. But I'm glad I did. So it's like, even though I have, small bouts of depression and everything like that, I do accept me. I accept me, flaws and all, and I understand that it is an ongoing journey, and every day, I do get better. Where I am today, sheesh, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it's just not where I am, so it is an ongoing battle, and I do understand, which is something maybe I didn't understand before, is that I do have a breaking point, and I think that before, I had a very much so what, now what kind of like philosophy, it was hard for me to empathize with people who were broken, it's okay, so what, now what, it's time to get back to it, which, until I broke, so it has allowed me to be more, I had to be more empathetic to myself, learn to be more empathetic to myself, because obviously I was really, really harsh with myself at first, and in turn, in being more empathetic to myself, obviously I can be more empathetic to others, so it is a blessing in disguise, or I'll even say maybe just a silver lining, because so many things have come out of my depression. I have, increased my level of empathy. I have started my fitness journey, which is like near and dear to my heart.
You're doing phenomenal.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just people by their consistency, not the results of consistency.
Yeah.
Like, hey, did you show up today? And when you showed up, was there something that you planned on doing? And if it wasn't, were you able to come up with a plan that said, okay, that's what one step forward looks like for you?
You know, so I've gained a lot through accepting my flaws and all, you know, and accepting it, but still trying to do something about it at the same time.
Okay.
You know? Yeah. So a lot of good has come.
We work out in the same gym.
We do.
We work out in the same gym. You be killing it.
Damn.
You be killing it. Now you. I be like, yes, ma'ams. What is it like to be a trainer who understands what clients may be going through in the conversations? Because trainers are kind of like barbers. I'm gonna see you, I'm gonna talk to you. We might talk about something for real today, mid training. Yeah,
and a lot of times we do. You know, it is very fulfilling. I feel like I'm doing my passion work, God's work. The connection that I have with my clients, I mean, and the connection I have with my clients is just like bar none. Like, it is therapy before us both. I always say, look, we know each other's business. It ain't just my clients just venting to me. You know, like, sometimes I need a mental day, and I can, you know, safely, you know, text him like, hey, you know, I just need a day. Can we reschedule or something like that? And most of them are understanding because I'm not above them. Like, we're in it together. You know, we're in it together. They're just really relatable, and I'm really relatable to them. And it's just fulfilling work to be able to be of service in that capacity, to be able to find community in that way, to know that I'm not alone, and to offer them reassurance that they're not alone, and to just really do it together, like genuinely, like no strings attached. Like, they know that I am like truly invested in their journey, because their journey is directly, you know, mine. You know, like, it's a full circle healing experience for me to be able to teach what I've learned along the way. So I tell my clients all the time, it's just like, you know, yeah, I can help you and I can tell you how to work out and teach you and all that stuff, but they help me the most, like the most, you know. And they give me purpose, you know. So yeah, I love what I do, and I can't remember the last time I've been able to say that. Like, I love what I do. Like, I love what I do.
What do you think people misunderstand about depression?
I think a lot of people think that just because it is dark, it looks dark on the outside. And that's not always the case. Like, I mean, anybody that knows me, they usually recognize my smile first. You know, Britney, she always smiling. And I mean, on the inside, I do not always be smiling. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, I know when I finally kind of like came out, a lot of people just were surprised that I was going through it, because I looked so happy most of the time. So, and I have found that in kind of outing myself and just, you know, talking about it with others, that has been something that's been kind of consistent.
With other people's situations, not just yours. Gotcha.
Yeah, is that, you know, outwardly they are a whole other thing other than what they're feeling on the inside, you know. So yeah, it doesn't always on the outside look like what you're going through on the inside.
What's the beauty of having a platform that can reach many people? Is it beautiful or is
it
it
is.
a burden?
It's a balance.
Okay. Tell me more.
So, it is a blessing because, again, you get to connect with so many people, and it's just like, one of the things about depression is you just feel so alone, and then you realize you're not alone, and there's actually a lot of people that can identify with you, that use your story as motivation to overcome, tell you you're inspiring, things like that. Those, I don't need outside validation as much as I used to, but it feels good. You still, and I do appreciate it still, and it does make me feel impactful. It does make me, it just confirms me being true to myself, and just it being well received is just, it softens my heart. It really, really softens my heart. I do sometimes have to break, just depending on what I'm going on, what my focus is at that time. And so I've been, struggling with consistency, because sometimes it starts feeling like a job, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like,
the content side?
Yeah, the content side. It
Yeah.
starts feeling like a job. And then, as somebody that is highly anxious, and I'm also an overthinker, then I start overthinking to a point where it may not be authentic. Because I'm just like, all right, and I know that when I get in that mode, like, what do they want to see? I need to take a minute, step back, and well, reassess. You know what I'm saying? Reassess the message that you're trying to do. Because now I'm just trying to get it out in a timely manner, and I want to fit this mode. So it's
am I pitching or am I living?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Literally that. Yeah. So sometimes I have to step outside of myself, take a moment to live, and then come back with any new rediscoveries that I've had, and just take it from there.
I feel you. That's how I am with the content.
Yeah.
Like there was I think the pandemic was very, not transformational, because I knew how bad things were going to be for a lot of people going into the pandemic. Like, so everyone has to stay by themselves and sit with themselves and discover things that they never got to look at before, because they're no longer allowed to be busy, take the trips, travel, go to brunches. I was like, oh, that's gonna suck. And then after sitting with themselves, you don't have like a good escape, or the escape that you may have access to may not be great because you don't get to move around. I think when people escape, there's something to be said about, are you changing the environment around you as you're escaping versus just sitting in it? And when you sit in things, there starts to be a smell in the room, like, what is that?
Yeah.
How long has that been here for?
Yeah.
Right? And I think on the content side, you're going to have to give up a certain amount of genuineness, right? Because when you start thinking, am I being genuine? That's when you start to edit yourself, right? So that naturally comes with the game. But I usually ask myself, hey, are we still sticking to the mission of what we're looking to accomplish? Because like, when you get in front of a camera, when you get used to a camera, it's very rare for people to be comfortable in front of a camera to the point that they're 100% themselves, whether it's on and off. That takes work. But working on something usually means you've edited something until you realize you're at the sweet spot of, oh, this is me being genuine. And that takes time. I think in your journey, from what I've seen, the reason when I see you, I be telling you, hey, you did a good job, is because I'm just like, at first I saw it, I said, oh, follow. Right? And then I make sure to give you likes, because I remember what it was like when I was pushing and creating the narrative of it's okay to get therapy as a black person, or it's okay to get therapy as a person that needs help, or it's okay to seek help and look at what therapists do, or what's the benefits of yoga. Because I didn't see enough of that content on social media. When people hear me say that, they're like, oh no, I saw people doing yoga, but you didn't at that time see a lot of black people doing yoga. Now you have a lot of black people who are doing yoga, but I don't think people understand the benefits of well, what are these poses supposed to accomplish? What kind of yogi are you looking to work with? What are you expecting to get from yoga outside of flexibility? And if you don't get those things, where else should you look to find what you're looking for? Because doing the wellness doesn't mean you're going to find what you're looking for. You do it in hopes that you get closer to what you may find here. You figure out, hey, do I like this? Do I enjoy this? And is this still me being constructive with myself and taking my time with myself? Or is this becoming a responsibility because I told myself, I want to do this thing and I have to do this thing, but I'm not really getting what I'm looking for? And when that happens to people quietly, I think that's sad, because it's like, you know, not a lot of people have someone who pulls on them and says, hey, is that what you were there for originally? And sometimes people are afraid to say it out loud, say, actually, that's not what I was really looking for. I wanted this other thing, but I don't know how to quite put it in words yet. And that's why I tell people, hey, you have to test things out. You have to figure out, like, hey, do I like this? Do I enjoy this? Do I like the people that are there? That's very important. Do I like the people in the room with me? Because if I don't, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be like, man, I hate these folks. And it's like, well, it's not their fault that you hate them. You just didn't realize, oh, I don't like being around that particular kind of person. And so when I see your journey, I celebrate you, because, like, you already have it hard enough. Look at the title. The title is like code for, hey, I'm trying here. And I'm like, look at you try. You keep going. You try. And that's why I was like, I want you to come and talk about it on camera, because, like, right now, I think it's unfair for someone to be like, "Ooh, tell me the whole story." You're like, bro, I'm in the middle of writing sentence number 3 right now.
I'm in the thick of it.
All right. There's like bushes and dirt everywhere, and I found a table that I could write on. So this is nice. So content-wise, when people comment on the journey that you're displaying on this path, what do those conversations feel like for you?
Understanding. It just feels good to be understood. Not to say that there was no understanding before, but I didn't understand myself, you know. And so how could I ever expect anybody else to when I'm trying to be a strong, independent Black woman, you know, and wear that with, you know, just.
But there's something about that word strong.
And strong can look different, you know, like vulnerability can be strong. I didn't grow up thinking that, you know, I didn't grow up knowing that, so I didn't portray that. I had to change my definition of what strong is. I am strong. I've been through a lot, you know, we all have, you know, but so I am strong, but it's like what my view was a couple of years ago has changed of what strong is. Strong does not mean one thing, and I very much was displaying one thing, and when I didn't have that one thing to display, I would crumble and isolate, you know.
What was that one thing?
Just being unbreakable and just, you know, just always being able-minded, able-bodied, able, you know. If there was no such thing as not having it to give. What is that? Some kind of cheese? Like, I couldn't, I would rather just disappear until I got it to give. You know what I'm saying? Like, I lost a lot of relationships that way, you know, because I was a ghoster, you know, I was flaky and stuff like that, but a lot of the time, I just didn't have it to give, you know, until I did.
Do you think the words escaped you, or even thinking about saying the words out loud scared you? Like, I can't say that. That's not who I've been this whole time.
Yeah, it definitely scared me. It wasn't. I couldn't say that out loud, because if you say it out loud, then it's real. And I just couldn't let it be real. So I would just come around with, my bad, I'm sorry, girl. Time just got past me. I'm sorry, but I'm here now. Oh, you.
I don't want to laugh, but all the sound effects you just made. It was hilarious.
Would it be like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, my bad, I'm sorry. And then I would just try to, how can you forgive me? Here, let me treat you to brunch. Money or do. However it look like. Let me treat you to something. Let me take care of it until the next time I goes. And I'm just emotionally unavailable. And it's just like, nobody knows unless you communicate, and I just didn't have the skills at the time to be able to effectively communicate what I was going through. So
when you finally had the tools to communicate and you learned how to use the tools to communicate, who were the first people to come around you and say, girl, we got you?
Well, one, my parents, because I had isolated even from them, but your parents always got you, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
My parents always got me. Thank you. But there were fairly new friends that I had made in the thick of it, and it was in the midst of me kind of like using them as like just kind of like as test dummies on how to effectively communicate.
You have to test it out.
Exactly.
You have to test it out. Yeah, practice makes perfect.
Yeah,
you got to test it somewhere.
Yeah. So the more understanding I received, and I did not receive understanding from everybody, but
or the people you would have hoped to get it from.
And I understand how too, because other people need support in other ways and stuff like that, and I get it, I get it. So, but for the most part, almost everybody was understanding, and that softened my heart in a way that made it easier to then communicate. Because time still come when I need to isolate, that didn't stop, but like my level of communication, like look, I was just or I might not even be going through something. Honestly, like personal training, it is a constant exchange of energy,
like a massage therapist.
Yeah. So sometimes I just need a dang on minute. I might not be going through nothing too bad, but I just need some me time, and just being able to communicate that, like, I've learned to do that, and I can't say I won't in the future, but at least up until now, I don't really get a lot of pushback, and I think a lot of that is because, we all in this together, and a lot of people need their time too, it just seems to be really relatable, to most people, so I haven't necessarily found anybody that just kind of like pushes me away as long as I communicate effectively. And then even at times when I don't, and I come back and it's like, my bad, I just needed a minute, instead of trying to cover it up with fluff.
Fluff would be gifts, brunch, throw money at everything else. Exactly. You're like, all right, I'm going to take that because that bill was really high.
I'm so sorry.
Words on it.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I apologize for being distant, but I just really just needed a minute to myself. Oh, girl, I understood. I already knew. You ain't even have to tell me. It's like, oh. So, yeah.
Do you think that was hard when people said, I already knew, and that kind of enlightened you to a different reality of something you didn't notice before? Like, damn, they on to me. Or damn, they knew the whole time.
No, not at the time that I heard it, because by the time I heard it, I was ready to. Okay. I think that before, when I wasn't necessarily speaking my truth, I wasn't ready to hear those things, and that probably, could have affected me in ways that, like I said, I just wasn't ready to hear. But no, by the time I heard it, it's more so. I'm more so accepting of it, and I lean into it. Like, thank you for being understanding. Like, I appreciate you. I love you. I value you. Like, thank you, because that is what I need in my life right now.
And you said that earlier. Thank you for being my friend. Like, sorry.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so.
What does friendship? Thank you. What does friendship mean to you?
Friendship is. could be a lot of things. And it really just depends on how long it lasts, you know. It definitely can be seasonal. I think, you know, everybody in my life has had a space, whether it be short term, long term, or extra long term.
But it was beautiful.
But it was absolutely, you know, and I'm appreciative to it while I had it, or, you know, whatever I have in the future. But it's definitely necessary. I know what being alone feels like, and it is not healthy for me long term, you know. So, and I have come to learn that my friends are really like my soulmates for real. But I mean, more so than, because I'm a relationship girly. Like, you know, I found myself in relationships and stuff like that. But and then sometimes, you know, you like, oh, trying to get love from this one person. If you're not getting it, then it's just like you fight for it from this one person. It's just like I don't feel it and all this stuff. But my friends have been there, you know, for me and continue to be there for me, even, you know, when I shut down and stuff like that. So it's just like I feel like this is the first season. No, not season. Like the first year, really, that I've been in a space to like give and receive love from my tribe, you know. I ain't, you know, worried about whoever's son, you know, and stuff like that. Like, it's just like, no, we outside and we just enjoying and loving on each other. And that was just really, really, really just good for me, good for my soul. And like I said, it was like a new level unlocked, you know. It's like, okay, these are the relationships that I need to pour into, whether, you know, whether a new relationship comes out of this, I mean, you know, in the future or not, like, I need to always make time to pour into my friendships, you know. So, yeah, my friends, they're my soulmates.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, so your fitness journey.
Let's talk about it.
What does it mean for you to be in fitness?
Fitness saved my life. Literally.
Yeah.
Like, literally. It gave me something to be excited about, something to work towards. There's always something to work towards in fitness, you know. It just, it's a thing I get excited about, you know, because I've learned so much. I'm a forever student to this thing. Like, I don't ever want to stop learning. I don't ever feel like I know everything. You know, it's just, it's given me, it's been my boyfriend at times, it's been my therapist, it's been my best friend, it's been, you know, all of those things. Just support. It gives me an outlet to not only release, but it also it serves as like a example of how to do real life, you know. Because again, limiting beliefs do not stop. Like, they're still here. I'm more intentional about tackling them, and you know, when I'm in the gym, it really is, and I tell this to my clients all the time, like, it's all mental. Like, we do hard things every day, multiple times a day, you know. This ain't nothing but a little bit of weight, you know, on the greater scheme of things. If you'd have had a child, you'd have dealt with grief, whether it be, you know, by death or, you know, whatever, that is harder than picking up a couple of little pounds, you know. So when you in here, you're like, oh no, I can't do that, or that's too heavy and stuff like that. It's like a really intentional effort on my behalf to be able to like challenge those thought processes and do the other thing. It's like when my body say stop, or it's like, oh, it's too heavy, just push through anyway. Then it's just like, oh, I did it. Oh, I did it. And it really just translates into the real world. It's like, well, if I can do that when I didn't think that I could, what else can I do that I don't think that I can?
Practice it, telling yourself yes over no. Yeah. Do you remember what being happy looks like for you? I ask because it's very easy to lose it.
Yes. I was about to say it was two kinds of happiness. I don't know if the first one was really, really happy, but I feel like
at that time.
It was real for me at that time.
Yeah.
But I also feel like I'm happy now. I'm happy. Like, I do believe that being happy is a choice, and a practice.
Yeah.
Definitely a practice, what I'm saying, for sure. But before, I was happy, but I was happy in a lot of artificial things. I think I was just preoccupied. They just, dangled the carrot in front of the rabbit, that's all. But it wasn't necessarily real, wasn't anything I worked for. I was happy going to brunch. I was happy going to, out on Fridays and Saturdays and doing the hookah and all that stuff. Like, I was happy parlaying, in those moments. But the minute that something got real or, just my mental wasn't right or something like that, like, just that is what brought me a little piece of happy at that time.
A little nipple of happy.
Yeah, just a little nipple, but it was really artificial. I was hiding behind a cloak. I wasn't revealing my real self to people, people that I would meet and stuff like that, who I would probably meet in those settings, So, your club face is not your real face, you know what I'm saying? I had a whole alter ego, so this is who you meet. I got to keep that up, you know what I'm saying? But, like, now, happy is a choice, and it is something that I practice daily. I mean, I have, relationships that I value a lot more than I did before. I have, I'm a gym girly now, and that's something to be proud of, because I don't come from a fitness background.
Do you mean family-wise or just your
family-wise or me? Yeah, either or, I don't. I literally feel I stumbled upon it by mistake. I was 32 years old. Yeah. I mean, it was a Google search. It was like, all right, this is a question.
Google doctor is into the chat. Yeah.
Basically, it was just, but it has been my saving grace, and it has given me something to be happy about, and then learning myself in new ways. Even though it started in the gym, it doesn't end in the gym, but learning myself in all the ways that I have, it brings me joy. It brings me joy to be able to relinquish control, and not always know what's next, and find a way to be okay with it, even when I'm not okay with it. It's like, I ain't okay, but I'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, that those were not things, that would really send me to the pits of hell if I just couldn't control the outcome. Oh my God, like, the pits of hell I go. I couldn't handle it. I couldn't, but it's just like the self-awareness that I have now. It is extremely rewarding to be able to just look back on where I've come, or how far I've come, and it gives me hope moving forward, to become somebody even better. It's like, if I've been able to accomplish this in 10 years, I ain't rushing the next 10 years, because it's like, a lot can happen in 10 years, and I'm like, I might find a new low, maybe, you know what I'm saying? But I do feel
it's a deeper low.
Exactly, I hope for a higher high, but there is a chance I may experience something, that I haven't experienced before, whether it be lower or higher. And I do feel that I'm equipped to handle it better based off of what I've been through before. Like, it's just like, I can't control everything, and I am aware that I do have a breaking point. I hope not to find it. but I am aware that I have a breaking point, and I have, avenues to cope with this that I didn't before. So I hope that's enough. But I am aware that I have a breaking point.
I think in 2018, I told myself there's nothing worse than what I went through when I lost my person in 2018. And then I think I was afraid to be happy again with other people, because it's like, when you're happy and you start enjoying things, that's something somebody or something can take away from you.
Yeah.
So I think when it came to a lot of relationships or people I may have been dating or interested in, there was always this distance that felt necessary for relationships, for me to have a relationship. Like I can have the relationship, but it has to be at a distance. I can enjoy these people, but it has to come with a time limit. I can do all the things that I want to do, but let's not do it too much. Let's do just enough to say, well, I did the thing, right? And I think when it comes to practicing being happy again, and not just moving forward, but really figuring out what will life look like for me now that I no longer have the person that I wanted to build my life around. What does the feeling of happy feel like? Yeah. And I think that's terrifying, because it's like there's a part of you that just doesn't want to be happy again. Like, hey, we've had enough. We had all the things. We don't really need more. And that part is right, but for the other part that wants more, it's like, all right, well, we want more. We're not trying to hear what this individual is saying. So, you got a lot of opportunity to build with other people. You should just go do it and see what happens. So, like, my rule when it comes to people in and out of my life is, hey, are they trying what their best looks like for that day? Not are you trying your best? Because I've seen people at their peak, and I've seen them not at their peak, but it's like, hey, are they just trying? Because I think in a lot of our relationships, especially when it comes to our relationships with ourselves, we don't realize when we've just stopped trying. That's it. Like one day you woke up and you just stopped, and it starts to play a part in other places, like showering. You stop eating the foods that you enjoy. You stop having that one conversation you used to look forward to every other week. You stop watching shows that used to make you laugh, because you may even hate the way your voice sounds when you're happy, or practicing that happy or enjoying yourself. Like, how dare you enjoy yourself? So how did you move to the point of giving yourself permission to enjoy what life has to offer?
I put one foot in front of the other. That's literally it. I put one foot in front of the other, and I made small leaps, small wins as I went. It just, there were times I didn't even know that I was fighting until I had some time in between where I was and where I am. And it's just like, wow. Because when you're in the thick of it, you're in the thick of it, and you don't necessarily see the strides that you're making, because they don't feel like strides. I was crawling. I wasn't a gazelle running through the, I was literally crawling for my life. I'm just, every day it was just like, oh, why am I here? What is here for me? It just, every day was daunting. Every day was looming over me. But, I just did what I could. Go to the gym. And the more energy that I was, running up in the gym, I had to eat. I had to eat more. It gave me something to socialize over, even though people in my inner circle might not have heard from me, but I had a little gym family that may not know what I'm going through, but interaction with people was still necessary, so it gave me a little something just to make it through. Going to therapy, even though at least my first, I've been through to about 4 different therapists. My first therapist, I wasn't trying to hear none of that stuff. You know, it was just really a battle. You know, but it opened the door to the process. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, and then I would take a break, and then I'll try again, and then I take a break, and I try. Once I'm ready to do the work, it's like, all right, I changed my mind. I'm not ready to do the work. All right, I'm ready to do the work. All right, I changed my mind. I'm not gonna waste your time, therapist, because you keep telling me to do stuff, and I keep not doing it, so I don't want to. My bad. I'm gonna just exit stage left. But it opened up the door to opportunity in a sense that I knew when I was ready, or when I felt like I was ready. All right, let me try this again. You know, might not have been successful the first time, but just in the moment, it felt like a fail. You know, this didn't work out for me. Oh my God, you know. But the cycle continued of me trying to find what worked and when it worked. You know, it's like that might not have worked at that time, but this did. All right, now we're gonna get through this a little bit. Now we'll try that again, and then, you know. So I was constantly problem shooting, and
that's the willingness
I didn't even
to try.
know. Yeah. It was a willingness to try, but I didn't even know that I was trying. I didn't even know when I was in it. I still felt I still had the limiting beliefs. I still felt like a failure, like, you know.
But it's proof you want to live.
Yeah. You know, so and now in hindsight I can understand that, and that is what propels me forward, even though I don't have it all together, and I probably never will. Like, there will always be work that needs to be done, but it's like I have enough experience to go over to know that all I gotta do is put one foot in front of the other, you know.
You know what depression's like? You know, in the fall when you gotta rake leaves. And then you come back out a day later and you're like, didn't I just do you yesterday?
That part. Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Like,
and don't let the leaves be wet.
Okay,
bad.
Yeah. Yeah, literally. You know, so it gets real, but I'm glad that I went through it, because what has come out of it is much more valuable to me. It's much more valuable.
Do you believe in creating an environment for yourself?
Absolutely.
How has that looked for you?
Well, I have quite a few different environments.
Because you've lost a lot and gained a lot. So.
Yes. My home space is very sacred and important to me. I'm not like, I can't, like, I gotta have bright lights, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have any curtains over my windows. Like, the sunlight wakes me up, you know. And that's important to me, because if I had the option, I probably, I want to sleep a little longer, so I'm going to just keep them closed. And now they close all day, and now I'm in bed all day, and you know, stuff like that. You know, my plants, I would say animals, but my lifestyle don't call for animals at this time. But but my plant babies, we love them. I love my plant babies, because they require, I'm not going to say so much of my attention, but enough. They require special attention, and not everyone requires the same level of care and attention, you know, but it just gives me something to kind of like meditate over, you know, something to focus on, because, you know, again, as a highly anxious individual, like, my mind is always gone. I'm always, what can I do better in the future? What could I have done better in the past? Oh, I need to be present. Oh, be present. Okay. All right. Oh, so I'm just having, you know, it's like I'm just always up here. So anytime that I can just focus on something, I like to do that. But just having a nice comfort zone at home helps loads. My gym family, you included, you know, helps a lot, you know. Juice.
No, I appreciate that. No, I just, the most dangerous thing I could do is make an assumption.
Look, if you ain't never had a hug by Juice, you missing out, okay?
I think I just practice not giving myself credit. Like, I think I'd rather be proud of the work that people have done. And when I find out that I'm a part of it, I'm like, oh, appreciate that. Thank you. But I think it would be a big mistake for me to assume, since they got there. I'm just like, nah, like, look at them. You've heard me say it. Working out, if I see some results, I pull you to the side. Hey, I see that bag, guy. I see what you're doing. You feel what I'm saying? Talk about your partners. I think it's very important to acknowledge people's workout partners, because that's a part of the work that they're doing. Who you align yourself with, what does your work look like, the work ethic. Hey, I don't talk to them much, but they're doing a great job with you. I want to let you know, because that reinforces, hey, am I making the right decisions for myself? And I think people really need to hear that, especially if I know they're intentionally working on something. So I'm going to say it. And you know me, I don't give a fuck. I say it to everyone's face what I see. Yeah. But then I also do respect that people don't need to hear everything that I have to say. So I pick and choose. So I'm glad that I could be a part of your journey. And I'm glad I'm qualified to be there, because, you know, not everyone needs to be in your life. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Make the mistake and say yes to the wrong person, and wish you would have turned that into a no a long time ago.
No, I appreciate you for being in a safe space though. Like, I know you could mess some stuff up if you wanted to, but you're so kind, you know, and soft with how you deliver information, and it just comes across very understanding and just very kind. And I love and kindness, that's just what resonates with me right now in this, space in my life. And it's like there's literally no words to like quantify what it means to me, but it's necessary, and that is what I need. That is what I lean into. That is because I like I said, I'm always in my head, so I'll beat myself up about something so minuscule and make it big in my head. But it's just like grace lives here, and so it's just like, oh, kindness lives here, and that it's just a soft landing. It's a soft landing. So I appreciate you for being a soft landing.
Thank you. I enjoy being a pillow. Through your online journey, do you ever find it hard to find balance between offline and online when it comes to content and your health?
Yes and no. But more no. And the only reason I say that is because I will cut off the social media part. However, it's like that's not my end goal. I would like to be able to be consistent. You know what I'm saying? But I do know how to cut it off.
What days do you post?
Well, right now we need to get this half marathon out the way. Okay, I ain't been posting regularly at all.
Are you gonna make any content around that?
Probably day of though. I've thought about doing it up until, but it's just been. It's too much, and I don't want to
shoot it and just leave it on the phone and then put it out later.
Well, I kind of have. I've been putting a lot on my stories.
Okay.
So I've been doing a lot in my stories, more so than actually putting content out. So yeah, I have. Mm-hmm. But I definitely want to do a day of, maybe even a week of, which is this upcoming week.
Do you know how to have fun?
Absolutely.
No, I don't mean like in the things we talked about. That's like happiness. I mean like making content. Do you know how to have fun in your content?
I do at first. It is fun at first. It's when it's not fun no more, when I'll be like, all right, I'm about to do something else.
Always make it fun. Always.
You know what it is for me? That's not fun?
What's up?
Editing.
Oh, that's terrible. I hate editing so much.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
I would never.
I do. Nah, I had to,
everything else is fun.
To get good at editing, I really had to just practice a lot of editing, and then practice watching Premiere Pro crash, and then I had to practice saving up money to buy better computers or taking loans from friends to upgrading my computer that couldn't handle the amount of content. Mm-hmm. And then I came to realize, I'm making so much content that all my technology around me is crashing because my work ethic is outworking the equipment. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, it's not fun, but it's doable. Like, my partner has come in here and seen me have like the TV is on, the edits is going, and one ear is in with music, because sometimes I do need a part of my editing process to just be multitasking, so I'm not focused on one thing and I'm looking at the screen looking for the moments. All right, that's a good moment. That's a good moment. Oh, that laugh. Oh, that's great. People get to see that. Oh, that's serious. Oh, their shoulders slid down a little bit. Okay, cool. They're going to love that. So my fun comes more from the obsession of making sure people feel what you guys are feeling who I'm interviewing.
Yeah.
And that rediscovering your friends is a really delicate process. And it's not one that's meant to just be handled in a floozy way. Each edit that I put out is 5 different edits. So you have the main edit, which is just lining up the 3 to 4 cameras that we may be using. The second edit is, okay, what moments do I want to get B-roll for, or does this interview not need B-roll at all and we just keep it as the raw interview? Another edit is, do I need to add music or sounds or censor out any curses? Because I do. That's it. So when it comes to the editing, as I said, I don't like editing. As you said, everything is fun outside of editing, but like the people who I interview and what I've learned about you guys and rediscovering your journey, that makes me love the process enough to want to do this and want to be careful with how it's packaged and how you guys, from my point of view, deserve to be seen by the public and why that's important and why each one of these stories matter. Whether I erase it or not, they mattered at that point. That doesn't change anything. So,
we love it. We love it, dude. We love all that you do.
No, I appreciate that. I think I do have an issue with hearing how great it is, because it's like there is a part of me that says, well, if it was so great, why am I here doing this when the one person I poured it into could have gotten it? And I think that was like one of the really important conversations I had with the original team of Get Home Safe. I was like, this isn't new to me. The content, the pouring love into people and appreciation, I was doing that. But when you have someone who's very important and you're just pouring into that one person, you're like, look, if I stop pouring into this person, what if they disappear? And then they disappear. And after they disappear, that's probably not just one of the most pain points, but like you really have to be careful with how you share yourself with others. Because you realize, like, hey, you're not just delicate. You've broken a long time ago, and a lot of your life has been spent trying to pick up the pieces since then, and you're really trying to figure out, like, hey, what does that look like? So it's like, like, for example, I can't over-dedicate myself to the platform because I gotta go make money. Bills need to be paid. New equipment needs to be paid off. I have dreams of getting married to my current partner. I have dreams of, like, having a house, having a car. I have dreams of having no debt, paying off all my student loans, and not having to think about it and figuring out, hey, what does taking care of my parents look like? Those are my current dreams, so that's what I currently work towards, because as much as I'm happy that I've helped all these people, if you're not helping yourself, the biggest disservice to your work is not taking care of who you are as you accomplish all these things.
Yeah, for sure. For sure,
You ever have those moments where it's like, hey, am I taking care of me?
For sure.
Are we good, me? Like, what does your self conversation sound like? Like, hey, Brit, hey, you. Do you have like a nickname for yourself? Like, hey, sugar cookie.
You know what?
Sugar foot, what's up?
I don't have a nickname for myself, but those internal conversations, I mean, I guess I do. B is my nickname.
That's my dad's name. It's really D.
Oh.
He'd be like, hey, D. I'd be like, oh, he's the good one. Man, what's up? What's up, Pops?
But I get that already. What is going on? Like, so yeah, I definitely have those internal conversations. A lot of the times they start with actions first. So like those moments where I just feel like disappearing from everyone. All right, Britney, what's going on? Like that's when I start to like really, really talk to myself. What is going on? Why do you feel this way? Journaling becomes more important, stuff like that. Because I go through spurts where I journal every day, but when I'm having those internal conversations in my head, I like to get them out. And sometimes I just write and then just see where the pen goes too,
I wish.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Really?
And journaling you know I'm a very intense person when it comes to like just applying myself in general, especially when I decide to do stuff. And when I journal, or when I've tried to journal in the past, I can just feel the intensity of that emotion building, and it doesn't go anywhere. And like, I'm not one to not be able to just sit with something, but I am one who's careful about when you build up your emotion and it gets too high, you know, you have nowhere to put it. What happens? Like, not who will you become, but what happens if that intense emotion just decides to hang out with you for a week?
Yeah. And
it goes into nothing, just you.
Yeah.
I can feel the itch in my chest right now.
Yeah, I've been there too. Yeah, no, I feel it. But no, it helps me, like, and sometimes, like, if I'm venting too much, I'll feel bad, like I'm complaining or something like that. So I usually,
it's an art, just to the right folks.
Well, what I'll do, because it just doesn't, you should be able to vent, like you should, but in my head, I make stuff up and it's like, you don't deserve to be venting. You got such and such. So I usually try to start with what I'm grateful for. And I might not be grateful for much, but I'm grateful for life today. And then, like, I'm grateful to wake up. And then I go on my venting session. So it's like, all right, at least I acknowledged something that I'm grateful for. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel more justified in my, because my higher self knows that it's okay. It's okay to vent. It's okay to not to have a good day. It's okay. It's okay. But there's somewhere in me that feels guilty, like, you should be okay. You should. You should be grateful for this. You should be. So it's like, all right, if I start with that, and that goes back to, you know, just me. Because my biggest challenge is conquering my mind. You know, so everything that I do is around that. So after I'm done doing, you know, my journaling or having that internal conversation, I usually end up on the other side of it just feeling a little bit better about myself, because I feel like I conquered that moment where I really wanted to I wanted to find a negative in it. I wanted to, but I was like, nah, Britney, we're going to do the other thing. So if you need to just say what you're grateful for in order to be okay with not being okay, then that's what you got to do. And it's just, all right, a win is a win. A win is a win. Yeah. So it's just like, and it's really small, but it's like finding what works for me. Finding, like, I am my own project. I am my own science project, you know. So, you know, so it's really just trying to find little isms, little things that just work for me to, like, kind of like filter and bring me back to the space where I can be amongst the living and get through.
So what's funny is, to piggyback off your point, the only time I listen to music is when I'm traveling and in the gym. That's the only time I actually listen to music, right? And when I'm traveling, I make time to check in with myself to be like, hey man, are we really into the thing that we're going to? Whether it's like work, hanging out with friends, hanging out by myself, going to the gym, right? And in the gym, I actually use the gym to mentally toughen myself. Like, hey, how much are we really willing to do today? Because you saw me before I was hitting the stretches with the way I'm hitting the stretches, right? You saw me when I was wilding, and then I took a step back and I was like, all right, do we actually have a process to the thing that we're doing? Or are we just hulking out and going home and saying, you know, I was strong today? And it's like, well, it's not really about that. Like, did you actually, what did you walk away with? What have you learned that's new? How have you, I think self-improvement is a dangerous thing that gets thrown around the room a lot. How have we simply gotten it right? That's it. Just did you do it correct? And it's very easy to do it the way that everyone's doing it and not actually do it the way that it's built for your body to be done correct. Because as a trainer, you also realize, oh, the way my format and how something is executed isn't going to be the same for my client. So I have to figure out how does that technique look for this person's build. They may have a shorter torso, they may have longer legs, they may have a weak leg on their left, so they're shifting. What do they need to engage? And for me, I take care of that in the gym, and then when I come home, I tell myself, hey, that focus that you had for 4 hours when you were in the gym, or the 3 hours you had, or the 2 hours, how do you focus when you're at home on the things that you need to accomplish? And are you setting up the right environment for you to really focus and get what you need?
Yeah.
Because it's very easy to just be happy with what you've done. Oh, I'm happy. It's all right.
Yeah.
That's cool. Did you really get it done? Not did you finish? Did you get it done?
Yeah.
Like, I had a practice test that I took last night, and I didn't score the greatest, but I also knew I didn't study. But I'm here to fail, and I remind myself, hey, you're here to fail to get better. But the most important thing you can do after you fail is, how did you study, or how did you reapproach the way that you're studying? And also looking at, all right, what did we not do last time we failed? Have you made time to do that?
Yeah.
What does taking notes with doing that look like?
Yeah.
And then I go from that and I apply it to myself, and I say, hey, self. And myself says, hey, big motherfucker. And I say, are we really working on this today? Or are we just glad that we get to be funny in front of people and not really sitting with ourselves and saying, hey, man, you got a schedule of things that you want to do in order to get those things done. Like, I have bills that I want to pay off. And I said, all right, by October, you need to be in position with this, this, and this. And now that I have the money, I was like, well, let me get this. And it's like, hey, we agreed not to get the things that we want because you have to take care of the things that you need. And now you're in position 2 to 3 weeks earlier than you thought you would have been to take care of it.
Yeah.
So what you going to do with that?
Yeah. That's real.
I be having combos. Because it's like, people are here for you when you fail or you give up, and it's nice, but you should really be careful about giving up on yourself in little ways. Like, oh, let me get this thing that I always wanted. Well, you always wanted it, so you could want it tomorrow. But if you get it now, what does that change in comparison to the things that you need to take care of that? If you don't, there's an actual consequence for that. So yeah,
absolutely. And balance is key too. Yeah. But
of course, you gotta go have fun.
But it's also balance is key. But we talked about that earlier. It's just the expectation to do it all is crazy. You gotta.
I'll be breaking it out. I'll be like, all right, Monday. What we gonna do Tuesday? How you looking Wednesday? What's up? And then if you get to Friday and you didn't finish stuff, it's like, all right, well, what did we do? Okay, bet. Cool. Especially if you don't have any like physical deadlines. If you have a deadline that you hit, I'm actually really good at acknowledging, well, we kind of got burnt out on Wednesday. And then Thursday, we woke up and mentally we were just out of it. You made space to accept yourself for being out of it. So Saturday, if you decide not to do anything, it's fine. You did the best versions of what that looked like for you. And you're also managing a lot of things. And it's like, I bet.
That works.
Yeah, I think my self-talk game is crazy. Because sometimes, well, it's crazy, yes, but I also have really good stops. Like, I'll have a thought, and I'm like, hey, we don't do that here. And my brain will be like, yeah, no, you're right, my bad. All right, so where can the people find you?
Well, you can find me on TikTok at Fit and Depressed or
dope name, super dope name.
Thank you. It's super straight to the point, okay? Or Instagram at Flex with Brit, 2 T's.
Would you be open to any clients reaching out to you for any services, training wise?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Come find me.
Okay. What are good hours for folks to reach out to you? Like, oh, I'm available these hours, or just whenever?
Whenever, but I won't be replying after 9 p.m. But you can still send it.
There you go, boundaries. I love it.
Yeah, you can still send it, and I'll still get back to you.
I love it.
But yeah, whenever.
Okay.
The DMs are always open.
Okay, I really appreciate you pulling up. I'm looking forward to us like doing more conversations and settings like this, or saying, you know what, I've observed this, I want to come and talk, and I'd be like, come, get over here.
I appreciate and value you. Again, there are no words. Like, there are no words in the dictionary to effectively convey what you and what you're doing means to me. Like,
I appreciate
it's more
that.
of a feeling. I appreciate you.
No, I got you. Thank you.
And I'm a cancer, I could cry about it.
Yeah, I mean, I got some really nice towels. They're short and squarish and perfect for some tears. A little snot. I've do laundry. I'm a good laundry person. I fold some clothes now. I fold the hell out of some clothes. The whole rack inside the closet right there is folded clothes, socks included. Yeah, but yeah, now I'm proud of you. Being your friend has been. You're welcome. Being your friend has been enjoyable. It's been inquisitive, and it's been not just enlightening, but it also reminds me that it's not just okay to make space for others, but you need to make space for them. I think one thing that I agree to do in my current relationship that I apply to my friends around me is you have to make space for who that person is tomorrow, even if it doesn't line up with who they've been in the past. And sometimes making space for those people isn't going to be something that you like, but if you have the energy and capacity and you actually care about them, you have to at least try.
Yeah.
And all my friendships and relationships are just what it looks like when I'm actually trying. And that's how I read myself. So trying for you guys, it's easy being able to try for you guys, because like there's so many different flavors of joy.
Yeah.
Why would I let that go just because things are hard? Agreeing to be someone's friend is technically agreeing to the hard things before the enjoyable things. And a lot of folks don't think about that. They're like, no, my friendship should just be fun. It's like,
yeah.
Just don't let it be miserable. If it's miserable, you may have to have a talking to. But like, nah, I enjoy that at some point God gave me the opportunity to be friends with you guys.
I appreciate you. And I know it is not by chance that God brought you to me. Okay.
Same, I fully agree. But it's been another episode of Mental Health Monday. Appreciate everybody for pulling up. Thanks for my guest Britney for pulling up. Did we go? We don't ever that much because we just be in the gym hugging and lifting. Just hugging and lifting. Like, subscribe, share. Appreciate y'all for pulling up. And it's been another episode of Mental Health Monday. Peace.